Welcome to Bon Jovi Discussions. Today I have my friend Pam all the way from Milwaukee. How you doing, Pam?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I feel like our friendship has gotten closer since we met back. So we met back in April. Obviously, we knew each other online, and I've been following your thing. And here's your little what's the promo word that people call it? Whatever, in Pam's kitchen and stuff. And then we became friends online, and then we met back in April. You and your husband and my
Right.
wife, I and Kevin and the whole crew. And I think ever since we've gotten a little closer. So it's great. I know we were planning this back in April for you to get on, and it's now June, 2 months later, and life's been hectic. But we're finally on, and so before we go further, I want to ask you how you became a Bon Jovi fan and all that.
Boy, I kind of anticipated you were going to ask that question, and I'm not so sure that I
Surprise,
have
surprise.
a total answer to it. I mean, I go back to the days of listening to FM radio. I mean, that shows my age. And so it was just the whole listening to the radio. Then, it started with Runaway, then Slippery came out. And I have to say, at that point, I was really still just kind of the casual fan. I mean, I wasn't,
But
listened
what
to
was
them,
it that,
liked them.
but what was it that really pulled you in thinking, okay, this is my favorite band. I love this band so much. What was that pull to be
What was that pull? Boy, I think maybe the Circle album.
okay?
Um, so
Yeah.
I mean, there was this whole casual fan thing going on there, but I really think that album is the one that drew me in.
Yeah, that's a
Of
good.
course, before that, yeah, I mean, there are great albums. You've got New Jersey in there, but and some of the songs on Slippery too. But I really think it was Circle, or may have even been Crush. I think even before that.
Wow. Well, okay. So then, last question. What is your absolute? Well, not last question because I got tons more. But
Yeah.
what's your ultimate favorite Bon Jovi song?
Oh gosh, no question, hands down, always.
Always okay. Okay.
Always.
Do you
Yeah.
like the Crossroad version more or This Life Feels Right version more?
I really think probably the Crossroad version.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So okay.
what,
So let's get. So today, obviously.
what about you, Jerry? Which do you like?
Oh, my absolute favorite would be "You Want to Make a Memory." That's my all-time
Okay.
favorite
Yeah,
song.
okay, and that's in my top five.
Yeah, okay.
So
Okay. So now you bring up top five. What's your other four?
okay. So always hands down,
Hands
always
down,
number one.
always. Crossroad version.
Do you want the rest? I'm going to put in no particular order.
Okay. Number two.
So number two, I would say, just because we just said it, do you want to make a memory?
Okay.
I'm going to say It's My Life. The next one, We Weren't Born to Follow.
Ooh,
And
that song's not made top. I like that. Okay, that's a good one.
yeah,
Five.
I like the message in it. I mean, that
Yeah.
really, I mean, I like the tune, but also the message of just going out there, putting yourself out, and and to round out the top five, I'm going to pull in one that is just off of 2020, and that's The Story of Love.
Okay.
That song just gets me every time I hear it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, since you're begging to hear my top five, You Want to Make a Memory? This is in order too. Shine, Stick to Your Guns, Roller Coaster, and I'll Drive You Home.
okay, those are some good ones, and you got some deep tracks in there.
I'm a deep track kind of guy.
Okay.
I like the hits. Yeah. But I'm more, as a diehard fan, I appreciate the deep tracks, outtakes, demos even more than the hits.
Oh, well,
That's just wrong
if
with
you
it.
want to talk deep tracks, yeah, I got like a separate list, that I can go into some of the deep tracks. I mean,
Okay, your absolute favorite deep track before we.
oh, okay. So I think my absolute favorite, and I'm not sure, well, let's say I'm going to call it semi-deep because, the true fan might say, oh, it's kind of going more kiddish, but I'm going to say Captain Crash.
That's a deep track. I mean, It's more of a popular deep track, but it is a deep track.
That's what I'm saying. It's a popular
Yeah.
deep track. Otherwise, I'm going Burning Bridges, or
Okay, that's deep.
Really deep, I'm going Summertime.
Ooh, I love some. I miss seeing that one live. I do. It was
Yeah.
so great on the Lost Highway tour, and it's a shame they don't play it. He did it once on the cruise, but that was it. Okay, let's move forward.
Okay.
So I don't know, for those that are watching visually, I don't know if we've given it away. I don't know if we've given it away by the hats or the Hampton Water bottles, but we are going to be talking about Hampton Water today. And a little special something that Pam does, and this is how I discovered Pam, was she does In Pam's Kitchen. You can find her on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You have Facebook?
Everything.
She's on
TikTok. I'm everywhere.
TikTok. She's on everything. Look at you being all modern on TikTok. And so I won't explain. I'll let you explain, how about In Pam's Kitchen and how it all came about and what you do with Jesse and Hampton Water, and which I love watching. I learn all these recipes. Me, I'm a new cook, and so for the last year I've been cooking stuff. So I've been taking some of your recipes and trying things out and stuff. And but
Well,
I'll shut up.
Good.
I'll shut up and let you talk.
Okay, so we'll go back to, speaking of 2020, we'll go back to the beginning of the pandemic, and those that are probably watching know that Jesse started doing the Hampton Water virtual happy half hours. And so I think it was maybe the first or second one that he was doing. He had mentioned the idea of, well, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with all these. Maybe we'll try doing some cooking. And I was making dinner at the time. And if you ask me, I remember I was making chicken, but I, for the life of me, can't remember what. And I decided, I had a bottle of Hampton Water. So I decided to just throw in some Hampton Water. And I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. And then I went to the one thing that I always start out with when I try and create a new recipe. And I'll digress for a second, Jerry, and say, I love cooking. I mean, obviously I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't like cooking. And I like creating recipes. So I decided to make some strawberry rosé cookies. And that was the thing that started it all. So I got this recipe, contacted Hampton Water, and Jesse got in touch with me and said, yes, I'd like to do this. I'm going to bake them on a happy half hour. And that's really, it all took off from there. He made the cookies, said, if you have anything else, please let me know. From that, both a friendship with him developed, as well as other people contacting me saying, and I didn't have In Pam's Kitchen at the time yet. I was just getting messages through my regular Instagram page, my own personal one, and people saying, do you have any more recipes? I'm like, okay, I can do this. It's the pandemic. There's nothing else going on. So from that, In Pam's Kitchen was born. And it's been a great experience so far. From working with Hampton Water, that led me to, I don't know if you can see behind me, I've got Lorenza's honey. So I've started creating recipes for her with her honey. And
great. Oh,
what?
Sorry, her honey is great. I love it. I was actually just I have it with my pancakes on the weekend because I try not to put honey in my health days. So on the weekends, I cheat on my diet, and I always put honey over my chocolate chip pancakes. But continue.
Well, it's better than regular syrup. So
I know I get sugar-free syrup.
Yes.
So, but anyway.
So, I've reached out to working with that. And then, of course, the JBJ Soul Seasoning from the Soul Kitchen. I've done many recipes for them. And yeah, it's just kind of all taken off, wildly more than I could have ever expected. And it's great. I, as I say, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy creating the recipes. And it's really great when you contact me, when we have the opportunity to do something like this, and I can share with everybody else. Jesse and I have done what he was doing, the Hampton Water lives. We did some of those. We've done some programming for another website. Yeah, it's really great when people have contacted me saying, I tried this recipe and it works great, and they love it. So um, I'm glad to be able to do this for everybody out there, Bon Jovi fan or not, because my following has, increased well beyond the Bon Jovi world.
Yeah, that's
So,
great. So what's your favorite thing that you like to bake with your Hampton Water?
oh, I'm going to go back to the very first thing, the strawberry rosé cookie.
I've
Um,
tried the cookies. I have tried the muffins.
okay, so, and I do have the muffins right here. This is the raspberry rosé muffin. They are cream cheese
Oh,
filled, so you can see that
gosh,
inside.
my mouth
Um,
is watering as we speak.
the one that my family really likes, I made a cherry rosé bar. So those were
Okay.
really good. Um, so yeah, I it's just a matter of trial and error and creating things and
Yeah.
see what works. I mean, if anybody that's watching has, what can you do? Can you make this with Hampton Water? Give me a shout out and I'll see what I can come up with if I can find a recipe, because it's not as easy as just dumping wine into a recipe. As anybody that bakes knows, and Jerry, I know you're kind of a new cook, but baking's a science and you really have to balance out wine. If you're cooking with any alcohol for that fact, it's not just I can substitute vanilla for wine or milk for wine. You've really got to play around with it. And believe me, I've had my absolute share of epic failures, to tell you.
Yeah. Well, one of my epic failures. So, like I said, in the last year, I've learned to really cook and
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. And so, like you, I'm no Pam, but in Jerry's kitchen, see what I did there? Uh, I I tried to experiment with chicken and stuff, and like marinating, a little bit of wine with my chicken, or just kind of cooking it with chicken. And it came out. I think I was putting way too much in, but boy, I could taste it. It didn't taste so good. But now, like you said, you're finding the perfect balance to how much wine to put in with your, and it tastes great.
And if you go on In Pam's Kitchen, I do have a recipe. I took chicken piccata and
I didn't.
I made a Hampton Water chicken piccata. So
Ooh,
that
that
is
might
on In
actually.
Pam's Kitchen.
I might try that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. Well,
So
so do you have anything in the works now as far as cooking with anything new?
I do. As a matter of fact, I will show you. This is the first appearance. I'm going to be posting these very soon. They are, for this, I combining the Hampton Water and the soul seasoning. So
Ooh,
I have air fried crab cakes with soul seasoning. And then the sauce is a rosé cream sauce.
ooh,
So
wow.
these have not yet been posted. I'm in the process of making the video for those. So those should be
Ooh.
available very soon.
See, if I lived near you, I'd be really fat.
You know what? It's funny because that's one of the questions that a lot of people ask me is, do you eat everything? Well, yes. I mean, I have to taste what I make, of course.
Yeah.
Um, but as you know, my husband Marty, I mean, he says I eat very well. But no, we do exercise a lot, and I have taste testers. I have friends. I've got relatives that help taste things too. I mean, yeah, I can't constantly batch after batch after batch eat everything I make. So
Yeah. That's why you give it to your friends and stuff, right?
I do. I do. So everybody gets it, to take advantage of the things I make. So
Well, if I was there, I'd take care of it all. Don't you worry. So, but yeah, anything else you'd like to mention or bring up about Hampton Water, or just anything in general?
well, Hampton Water is one of those wines. I mean, I think we've all heard Jesse say, several times that rosé season is anytime. It's just not limited to the summer anymore.
Yeah.
And I think the thing to be said with Hampton Water that I've really discovered as I cook with it and bake with it is that it really goes with everything. I mean, it's a great wine to stand up to the heartiness of meat. I've paired it with steak. It also goes with chicken and the lightness of fish too, as well as desserts, which I create a lot of. So it's one of those wines. It's, you're talking, usually you think white wine with the fish, the chicken, the red wine with the heavier things. But it truly is a great all-purpose wine that goes with everything.
I agree. I don't say that just because I'm a Bon Jovi fan. I mean, it genuinely is really a good wine. And I wouldn't drink something I didn't like. And so like I stock up on bottles. We always have, especially in the summertime when we have family and friends over and stuff. I have multiple bottles and we all drink it. And like people don't even realize what they're drinking. I just pour them in a glass. I'm like, what is this? I go, it's Hampton water. And they go, wow. And then they're like, I'm surprised you don't have Bon Jovi wine. I'm like, well,
yeah, you do.
yeah, but all aside that, I really do enjoy it. And like I said, not because it's related to Bon Jovi or Jesse or anything like that. It generally is a really good wine. And I got to be really proud of Jesse as well because I mean he's really worked hard at this since what, 17, 18?
The first vintage was in 17. Yeah.
17. So I mean to look at from where it grew from then to where it is now, they've worked extremely hard at crafting it, the taste, promoting it, and I'm really happy to support them. I really am.
Well, and with that, I mean, there's a reason why it's consistently on one of the 90 point, at least a 90-point rating, and listed several times in the top 100 wines of the world because it's, as I say, I sound like a broken record here, but it's a good wine that goes with everything. And it holds up to the lightness of a chicken, a fish, a dessert, as well as, a steak or anything, heavier like that. But and I think to some of that is the combination of grapes that are used in it. And you think a lot of times of rosés and it's that very sweet wine. And I guess personally, I just don't like that.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go sweet,
Semi.
I'll grab a piece of candy. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm going to be drinking a whole glass of it, I really want the dryness of the wine that I can put other things with. So
Yeah.
I think that adds to the popularity of it and what
Yeah.
makes it a great wine.
Well, what is your favorite thing to pair the wine with your like meal wise?
Oh, meal wise, I'm gonna say pasta.
Okay, mine too.
I have also done a rosé. I believe it was linguine or angel hair pasta. You can go on in Pam's Kitchen and look, but I did a pasta in a cream sauce. But even if I'm not making that and I'm just having just a pasta, aglio e olio, so maybe pasta with garlic and butter or olive oil. Um, it's great with that. As I say, chicken. The other night we had salmon. So, really any of those are what I would pair it best with. It really is great with seafood.
Yeah. I enjoy it mostly with pasta, like you said, and steak. With a steak, I don't know,
Yeah.
for some reason, steak dinner, it tastes great. For somehow, some way, it enhances the flavor of the wine. I don't know how, but it does. And also with cheesecake, like if I have a dessert and stuff, and I'll have a piece of cheesecake and drink this with it. I don't know. It just brings out a flavor.
Well,
It's pretty
okay,
healthy to do that.
so again, I don't mean to keep going back to it, but go to In Pam's Kitchen and I did they're mini cheesecakes with fruit filling in them, but they also have Hampton water in them as well. So you get the taste, you get the wine in the cheesecake.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about these muffins too, is that even though the wine is in the muffin and not in the cream cheese filling, the two go well together, acting almost like a cheesecake. So
I think I'm gonna make those muffins this weekend.
yeah. Well, and I'll just throw this out there. I mean, this is something really great too, that it lends itself to really wonderful aromas when you're cooking or especially baking with it.
I know. When I make it with chicken and stuff, it smells so good.
So yeah, it's, there are many times I would like to, when I'm shooting a video, say, if there was like smell-o-vision or something, if you could be in my kitchen right now and smell, how wonderful it is. So
yeah. Well, and then one last thing too, for people, the majority of people watching this know the story of Hampton Water, but just in case there's someone here on here going, what's Hampton Water? I never heard of Hampton Water. Well, we're here to tell you.
yes.
Hampton Water started from back in, well, I think they were toying with the idea for about a year or so. And
Correct.
So I'll tell the story real quick. Jesse and Allie, they were in the Hamptons, and they're talking about what was John calling it?
Pink juice.
Pink juice. And then Jesse corrected him, going, no, it's Hampton Water. And then so Jesse, said, hey, let's go in business together. So Jesse and Allie went and got their business degree, came back and developed Hampton Water. He partnered up with obviously John, and I can never get his name right in France.
Gerard Bertrand.
I was close. And so,
I was a French major in college, so that helps.
Yeah, and a lot of people will say, well, never mind. But Jesse's worked really hard at making this successful, and I think he's done a great job. And I enjoy it, and I enjoy your recipes, and I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, no problem. It's a pleasure, and it's great to talk to you, and again, be able to share this with everybody that's watching. So.
Absolutely. So we'll plug your stuff in. So how can people find you if they want to find you or stop?
Go to In Pam's Kitchen. As you said, I'm on everything. So Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I am on YouTube as well, but I admittedly don't put everything on YouTube. But otherwise, any of the other platforms, you can find me on there. And I'm, usually a couple times a week posting some new recipe. As I said, the majority of them will either have the Hampton Water, the soy seasoning, or the Are We Farm honey in them. But there are many other recipes that just are recipes out there that, my idea, and I think, Jerry, something I'm going to add too, is you had mentioned you're a new cook. When I'm creating these recipes, part of my philosophy is this needs to be something that everybody can make. I understand that everybody doesn't have an experienced skill set, and I'm not a classically trained chef myself. But I want something that's, it might be challenging, but it's something that I really think that everybody can master these recipes. And I think that's important. And I also try and create recipes with, Jesse has dubbed me through some of our interactions, the kitchen gadget queen. And I fully admit, behind me, I have drawers and drawers of stuff. Much to my husband's chagrin, I have,
My wife does too.
Yeah, I've got so many gadgets, but I try and really create these recipes in mind, knowing that, people don't have all these gadgets that I have, and I don't want them to run out and buy things. Maybe with the exception of an ice cream maker or an Instapot, those might be the craziest things that I've put out there as far as that goes. So if you haven't checked it out, please go and, let me know what you think.
And I'll vouch for Pam. I have tried some of these recipes, even, when I was just beginning to learn to cook last summer. And they are fairly simple to to do. And, you know, if you ever have trouble or have any questions, you know, Pam's always there to help you, and you know, she's great.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've had many people send me DMs through Instagram saying, you know, help, what do I do? I'm always there. And even not on recipes, I've just had people ask me cooking questions in general, not even related to the wine or, you know, honey or soul seasoning. You know, please you just reach out and I'll see what I can answer for you. So.
All right, Pam. Well, don't hang up. I'm gonna end the recording here, but thank
Okay,
you again for coming on. And
no problem. Thank you,
I, I
Jerry.
I enjoy your channel and the recipes, and I am gonna be trying out those crab cakes next. So,
Okay.
all right. Thanks, Pam.
Thanks, Jerry.